start in 1 minute. $2,000 Maven challenge for the best question. Austin Silver. The famous Austin Silver with us today. Looking forward to this one. Tell your friends, guys. Wow, what an awesome surprise here today. I wasn't sure if I was going to get such a huge name to join us here today. Austin Silver, guys, he's been around for longer than I have, I believe. Back in the Forex days, he was saying right before stream. Austin, introduce yourself for anyone who doesn't know you, but I'm pretty much sure everyone does.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yep. My name's Austin. I've been trading. This is year 11. Used to work at a prop firm in New York called T3. Left there in 2019. Started ASFX. James here was one of our most successful students in the beginning. He was actually part of the reason that we started a coaching program. He was one of the motivators for that. So since then, James and I started working together 2019, 2020. Since then, we've worked to grow our education business, grow our reach. Now doing live streams every day, showing people how we take payouts, pass prop accounts, do all that stuff. James has been the OG around me as far as prop stuff. James was the first one with FTMO in our community, first one to take payouts from props. So James really motivated me a lot as far as actually making money from prop firms. So I have to give him a lot of credit for that too. Right, Bruce?
Yeah. You're a bit skeptical in the beginning for sure.
A little bit, as many people were, right, Hunter? You, I'm sure probably were too at first before you started Maven, right? Like you see the prop firm thing trades with someone else's money, you're like, what the hell? You know what I mean? So I think it's natural to be skeptical at first, but now it's so common. It's just you know, it's part of
it. Yeah, you know what? I thought back in the day when I was just trading Forex, I thought you would buy a prop firm account and then you would just pass it, and then you would have that money, and you'd be set for life. Right. And I was doing the calculations in my head. I was like, oh, this is how much money I'm going to be making, 4,000 or 5,000 a month from each account. Like, great. It just knew that I was going to do it. Failed it immediately, But that being said, your trading, let's dive a little bit in your trading style, give people a little bit more information. I was watching some of your stuff. You seem to be really involved with, the Iran war. Global economic data, things like that. Maybe more of a trader.
I love my videos about that, dude. They've been going crazy. I'm not. Evan was saying today, he was like, "Bro, you're about to be more known for the news than you are for trading." I'm like, I don't want that, but I do like. I think what's interesting is like you can on the content side, you do a good job of this too, Hunter. Like you make content that maybe isn't trading related all the time to try to touch people that also is relatable. Like my interest in geopolitics is something that is relatable. Clearly, you know what I'm saying. But I don't really use a lot of that for our trading. I think James especially, we're not economists. We try to read the news and know what's going on, but we don't use it for trades as much as some other people would, I think. Always probably out of ignorance, bro. Like out of like fear that I don't know enough to make macro trades. I've never really done that. Instead, I've defaulted to, I want to know what's going on so I can talk about it and like feel informed. But when it comes to trading, I've definitely found more success just reading VWAP, trading VWAP. I used to trade EMAs back, like you said, in the Forex days. A lot of what James and I did was an 8 and 21 EMA, different variations of pullbacks with those moving averages. But then I met Brian Shannon, did a bunch of podcasts with him. Like he was really a big mentor to me. Like that was you know how it is, bro. There's moments in your career. My first moment, I would say, of like turning point with trading was at T3. There's a guy, his name is Scott Redler. He's like their famous guy. Yeah. He had an event in Boca They sent me there just to learn. I sat in the back of the room, but we got to watch him trade. And I saw him clicking the buttons and actually trading. And I never seen anyone trade a huge account like that before. So that was a moment where I was like, the way to learn how to trade is to stand there and watch someone trade, which sounds so stupid, but it clicked for me there. So then I really started to like want to watch other traders trade. That was where that happened. But then when Brian hit me and we collided, that's where I was really, James knows, like that's where VWAP became what I was obsessed with. Because I was like, there's no way this is better than moving averages. And then when I started to try to be open-minded and challenge that belief, it cracked quick. And then I was like, all right, VWAP is cool for me. I like this. It's simple. It works for my personality. And now everything we do is VWAP.
Yeah, interesting. So tell me, what was that guy's name again that you stood next to?
Scott Redler.
Scott Redler. Okay, so if anyone's watching, they want to.
He's actually on Twitter. Still,
he's on Twitter. He's got a couple 100,000 followers. Yeah, he's well known guy.
I want to type him.
Yeah, he's a macro guy in a way where he like does a lot of swing trading of equities. He's an equity trader. Yeah. But he used to be on CNBC back in the early 2000s, calling gold and stuff like that. He was maybe a little more popular back in the day. Now he's more of like, he's Unk now, you know, kind of like the direction we're headed.
Would you call yourself an Unk at this point, you think, Austin?
Say it again, sorry.
Do you think would you call yourself an Unk at this point?
No, dude, not yet. I'm only 31. I'm holding off on the Unk designation for a while. Okay, I'm going to try to hold off. I will shave my beard before I embrace the Unk. But when I do embrace the Unk, I'm going full Gandalf. Gray hair, gray beard, wearing a robe every day. I'm going full Unk. You know what I'm saying, bro? 100%.
Market wizards then, right?
Exactly. Real life. So, but Scott was like, dude, it was cool because like at that, you know, I do a lot of these boot camps now. We have one coming up in May. We sold it out. It's awesome. And now it's like 100 people. Like I started doing them and it was 15 people. Scott motivated me to do those because I feel like that weekend with them, and it was small, dude. It was like 12 dudes. They paid like $5,000 each to be there to learn from him. I feel like that was like a really transformative weekend for me to just talk to these grown ass men that were learning how to trade. And I felt like I had been trading already and I was doing okay, but I was like, I'm clearly onto something. If these dudes are way older than me now, just getting into it, I can't quit. So it was super motivating. And then Brian was like very kind with his time for free with me. And I try to return that by doing podcasts with him to get views to him, get subscribers to his service if people are interested. So like I'm a big pusher of his book. I got it behind me on the shelf. And like that mentorship without even really like, there's nothing I signed. I didn't pay him any money. Like just being receptive to information, it kind of became mentorship. That was like, I think another big moment for me, just on the technical side of it too, you know?
So let's dive a little bit more. What technically did he do that was so like? I know every trader at home.
I got a good answer for this one.
What they want to see is what is the strategy, right?
He broke my mindset on what made trading profitable. So James and I coach people, and this is partially from Brian, in 3 buckets: entry signal, trade management, and then position sizing. You have to be good at all 3 of those to be a good trader.
Okay.
I thought entry signal was the most important. Once I broke that from Brian and understanding VWAP, I realized it's all in trade management. It's all in being in the proper position size, the right stop loss, the right exit. All of that matters more than the entry. So accepting that was very difficult for me because I had been teaching people to trade candle formations, to trade specific entry things. So that was very humbling. But by like, again, I think humility is a prerequisite for success in trading. Being humble, it opened the door to more profits for me. So getting out of the entry matters most mindset is one of the technical things Brian helped me do. So then I just learned to be positioned on the right side of VWAP and let the market move for me, which is still, as a thing I've been doing now for 3 years, it's still something I'm working on, of like staying in trades to their fullest extent, trailing stops aggressively, but still maximizing wins. It's still something I'm working on. But I think that mindset of position yourself with the wave, don't try to predict the next wave, worked better for me. Some guys are better at predicting the next wave, I think, but I'm not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think also something that Orson has done well at as well, since shifting also to VWAP, is you used to be quite like strict on this is the entry and that's where the stop goes and everything like that. But I think something that I do quite well is like discretion. So I used to like change, like mess around with the system basically and be like, oh, well, I like that entry. It's not technically an entry that Austin taught in his course, but I like it. And I think Austin's become quite good at that over the times. Like
it
you
used
have
to
a lot
grind
of
me up because I was like, remember, like, and even one of our other business partners at the time was very systematic, Hunter. He was like, it has to be this exact thing to trade. But I don't think now I would say I don't think trading profits come from this exact science. There is a lot of art in discretionary day trading. You know what I'm saying? I think investing should be an exact science. Dollar cost average into the market. If you're young like we are, that's my opinion on investing, right? Like that's systematic. Don't think about that. Don't try to be a stock picker. That's my opinion. But this thing we're doing, this is really close to art more than science, if not definitely more art a little bit than science, you know.
And you've become quite good at that over the last but like taking your feel of the market. For example, on I think it was on Monday, yesterday Monday, you bought it at and Asia. I woke up and I'm like, geez, that's a sick entry, and it ended up popping for you. Like that's not something that you used to do 4 or 5 years ago.
But prop trading, I think, made me a better trader in a lot of ways. Like when you motivated me to do the first my Forex funds challenges, and they were 30-day past this, that made me better. And I think now these consistency scores and these other rules with prop firms, I think in a way keep me trading correctly without tilting. Like my biggest thing now with prop trading, like as a guy that's got a pretty high win rate, is overconfidence. And then I just keep adding in, or I'm defending a position, or I can't be wrong, so I do stupid things. Those things plague me. But like if you play the prop firm game the right way, you can make a lot of money with prop firms, all of them. Like there is no one prop firm. I think that is the key. You know what I'm saying? Same thing back in the Forex days. There wasn't one prop firm. We tried them all. Remember?
Yeah.
So something you said is, and it just made me think. It's very similar wording to what I hear all the time, but it's very much different. You said that the entry criteria is not what's important. It's the risk management and the trade management. And to me, that sounds like a better way to articulate, I need to work on my discipline. I need to work on my psychology. And this is something that's regurgitated around, the industry constantly, right? Everyone's always saying, hey, my strategy works, but I keep messing up my discipline, right? How do you think that compares, and how do you think that the way that you worded it is different, right? Because you've worded it differently for a reason.
Definitely. The way I look at the definition of entry signal is not important is said that way to make me focus on who's in control. So like the VWAP teaches you to read who's in control. That's the way Brian teaches it in the book. If price is above the VWAP, buyers are in control. If price is below, sellers are in control. So it eliminates the question of what is the trade. There is always a trade. Either buyers or sellers are in control. You're either joining them or fighting them. So then when you accept that there's always a trade, it then makes it easier to accept entry. It doesn't matter. I could literally enter the market right now. Buyers are in control. Where's the stop? What's the position size? Those two things, then see how they become the more important questions just by defaulting to there's always a trade on at all moments. I'm not looking for this specific entry signal. I'm looking to get in on the right side of the market, ride the wave. So now how do I get out of it? Where's the invalidation level? That's the stop. And then what size should I put on this? Am I going to go all risk for the day? And that's a whole conversation of itself, right? I've seen your videos about that where you talk about how to pass the challenges. Sometimes you're going heavier because you're passing an eval. Sometimes you're going smaller because you're close to payout and you don't want to fuck it up. You know what I mean? So that position sizing thing is a little bit more complicated, but it's like, okay, there's always a trade on. So I'm not focused on entry. It's just who's in control. Okay. Well then what level would invalidate who is in control currently? I'm looking at the market right now. Buyers have taken control. What level for me, and this is part of the discretion in it, but what price would then invalidate that? Would it be just taking the VWAP? Would it be taking previous structure? Like what would then, that's where the stop goes.
Interesting. So you're basically of the opinion that you can sit down at any time, take a trade, and just ride the direction. You don't need to look for a setup.
Especially when you, because again, another thing I'll break free of for everybody, at least when you're hanging out with me, our multiple doesn't even come into conversation. So I'm just
looking, this guy.
Yeah. So I'm not looking at our multiple. So then even more to your previous point, yes, I believe you could sit down. I am trading a lot of Asian session. So you can really just ride VWAP at any time of day, as long as you're reacting to it. The problem with it is people get stubborn and you'll find a reason to not react to the VWAP, and quickly the market will move against you. And that's why like my biggest weakness is when I'm market's moving lower and I'm buying it. I'm fighting the VWAP. I might catch a couple points, but because we're fighting the VWAP or underneath it, dude, 2-3 minutes can smoke all of the last 15 minutes of slow grinding rise. So that's where I end up getting myself overconfident. You get on the wrong side of it, you get smoked. So it's tricky, you know what I'm saying? Because it's easy. The only tricky part of VWAP is it's easy to get married to the one side of it and not react. That's the trick.
Okay, so how do you determine which side you're going with?
I really just default to the 9. Like I'm using New York VWAP, the 930 anchored like to market open today.
Yeah,
that's the bread and butter. Like I really can't. If I'm on the wrong side of that and I'm wrong, I can't be mad at it. I fucking I fought the VWAP. Like I know better. So that's really the barometer, that one. If I'm trading pre-market, it's the 6 p.m. VWAP, like the changeover VWAP from the previous
Just super, super simple for people at home. And if we're above VWAP, you're buying. Below VWAP, you're selling?
100%. And it's not every time, right? So like, for example, James knows I like to wait for the opening range to set. Give me 15 minutes. Give me a high and low. Let me see. Because that sets me up for a few different, like I got tools on the tool belt, right? I'll give you an example of one called the double break trade. So we set the opening range in the first 15 minutes. Maybe let's take for this example, market's trending higher. I'll hope we break the range low first. Induce the shorts on that breakout. I will wait for a turn. I'll wait for it to take New York VWAP, and then I'm clear and free, trending back in the direction that we probably been moving. I'm trading with VWAP alignment, and I'm now trading probably into a structure point, a high set to my left. So I get a really high probability trade back in trend. That's a setup that I'll wait for. So I'm not taking the first break at 932 above VWAP. I'm waiting, seeing if some levels line up. Like today, I had a long at 11 a.m. this morning off of overnight VWAP, but it also was off of value area high and opening range high. So when I get a confluence of levels, since I waited and didn't just take the first couple of breaks in the day, then I get a lot of information. Like all the money I'm really making, and I've taken 14 payouts this month, so this is my best month of the year. It's all coming after like 9:45. I don't think any of my good trades are between 9:30 and 9:45. Nothing. Maybe I'm getting lucky one type of momentum play, but it's not the consistent money for me. So waiting and then playing the VWAP, and like you'll get good reactions off of VWAP. Like if you study it, anyone I'm sure that's listening to this that knows, look at a 930 VWAP most days, price will play off of it a couple of times. Not every day. Nothing works 100% of the time, but it works a good chunk of the time. Because I'm not I was never one of those guys, Hunter, that could do the lose 40% of the time or 60% of the time to win a 4-hour trade. Like I couldn't do that. Never worked.
It's too difficult on the mind.
It's hard to lose that much.
Really
just be like, no, I'm cool. I'm good. I'm good. And like, it's really hard.
So I know from my own personal experience that I don't like the use of R either. I think it's a ridiculous metric. But I want to know your take on that because you just said something that's shocking to a lot of people.
I know. I don't know why. Like why? We should figure out why. Who
come on stream and they say, what's your R? What's your R average? Like it's a justification of how good you are.
It's
right?
weird. It's so weird. Like, where did that become the metric that they think is the determining factor of profitability? So I don't know. So I guess it just comes from me being such a conspiracy theorist in my life that I question everything. So I'm like, indicators are not, people would say indicators are lagging. Okay. But does that mean they can't help me make money? No. So I question that thing. Break that bullshit rule. That Vishen Lakhiani wrote this book called The Code of the Extraordinary or The Code of the Unfuckwithable Mind or something like that. And in that book, he talked about society has bullshit rules called rules that we all buy into without questioning. So I question everything now since I read that book. So like, I'm like, okay, indicators don't work. Question that. Prove that one wrong. R multiples important. Question that. Prove that one wrong. Still taking more payouts now, less focus on R multiple. So you start to question things, like I said at the beginning, like the humility, the open-mindedness, that's key. Because then you question things and you can see, hey, maybe it didn't work for you. Just like your parents told you don't drop out of college and go do what you're passionate about because it didn't work for them, but it may work for you. You got to see if it works for you. It's so true. So that's why I think the R multiple thing is easy for me to not believe in. My results speak for themselves. When I was 3, 4, 5 years ago in Forex land, more focused on R multiple, I was making less money than I'm making. And I'm making less money than I am now. So it's like, say, call R multiple, FAR multiple, fart coin multiple, whatever you want. Like, I just, are you making money? And then especially in prop land, James and I talk about this all the time. Are you making more than you spend? Because, like it just gets so easy to spend on these cheap challenges
Yeah.
And some of them have very low payout caps. Some of these firms, I'm like, why would you even yeah, it's $60, but you're going to make what, like, is a $400 payout, a $500, is that going to move the needle for you and your family this month? Like, for some of us, it's not. So I just think it's such like this cheap mindset that's kind of plagued the industry in some way too, that gets people just so short-term focused. And unfortunately, it keeps them from the bigger bag over the long term.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we discuss more prop firm stuff, I got a couple questions. I'm not sure, James, if you've been watching some questions here. We got one from Cat Soft I seen earlier. It says, how did so you're a family man, correct?
I am.
Yeah. So this might be good for both James and Austin, right? How did your family react when you said that, this is going to be, your full-time career, right? Were you already in the game before you'd met your spouse, or?
I was, but I was not good at trading when I met my wife. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she
there must have been a question at one point, right?
She blindly believed in me for whatever reason, the same way I believed in myself. So it worked out. You got to find a good woman. It got lucky. And then, I'm very grateful to her for that. So we have a good relationship where, and I know James does too, where like he gives his wife freedoms. She gives him the things that he wants, right? Like he's got a kid and then maybe more on the way. So do I. So like, but that was important to me. So when I got with my wife, even though I wasn't the best trader in the world, I said to her, like, as I grow, my growth is, these are the things that I want. So we got on the same page with those things about like the family and the future of that. We moved out of Florida too, because it was just, the energy in Florida just was too crazy to raise a family. And like my wife's family is all from where we are now. We're 20 minutes from her mom and her dad and everything. So like that was really important. So kind of based the life around that. But as the income has gone up, you have the freedom to be wherever. Like I've traveled every month the last 6 months, most of the time to Florida for work. So as long as you can travel and, you keep income and cash flow up, you keep everybody can be happy. You know what I mean?
Happy.
Exactly. Yeah.
James, was it a similar story for yourself?
It was. I mean, before I met Austin I've started to see his Instagram in mid 2019, and he was the only guy that wasn't posting like bundles of cash with diamond grills and a Lambo.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, well, this is a bit interesting because he's showing like actual entries. And I remember still the one day I was long like pound dollar and Austin was short, and I ended up tanking like 200 points in a day or 200 pips in a day. And I was like, geez, I'm doing something wrong here. And then that's when I bought his course. And again, at that time, like I'd been trading 2 years at that time. I started beginning of 2018. And basically from there, my wife, who obviously at the time was my girlfriend, also believed in me from the start too. So it's like, if you have enough passion and you put time and effort into it, I think they see that.
Why though, Hunter? That's the better question. Yeah. Why did they believe in us and not tell us to get a regular job? Well, I think I was I was a DJ before I was doing this. So I was doing bar mitzvahs and weddings every weekend.
Happy.
Dude, so she was happy to have me back on the weekends.
Can't do that in your 30s.
But she knew I would never quit DJing until I had a lot of money saved up and I felt confident in everything we were doing. She actually worked with me at some point when I was still DJing. She would run the photo booth so I wouldn't have to pay staff. We would keep the money in-house, right? So I hustled until I really, really didn't have to. I definitely could have quit a little sooner, but I think that was a reason she supported me, was she knew I was not a deadbeat, just like sitting at home smoking pot all day trying to be a trader. Like I was out on the weekends still working, trying to build the education business on the side, still trying to learn how to trade and get better every day. So I think she just respected the hustle, and I think if you're a woman, you're like, if you want to be a boss bitch, be a boss bitch. But if I was a woman, I'd be looking for a man like that. That's why I wanted to be that guy. I want a guy that's going to hustle. I want him to be the same hustler when he's poor that I think he'll be when he's got money. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a character thing. And I think women see character better than men sometimes.
Women have much better intuition.
Much better intuition.
They have to. It's a safety thing.
It's a safety thing. Yep. Evolution. 100%.
Yeah. 100%. I don't need very good intuition if I got a good punch.
You're fine. That's exactly what I was going to say, dude. 100%. You know what? It comes with challenges too, like being in a relationship, just like being in a business relationship with people. They all come with challenges. So you have to really choose a person, I think, as much. I think my success with my relationship with my wife is based on us being on the same page about key value points, key value areas, and then not being afraid to argue. I think what leads couples down the wrong path is they don't talk out problems. I have no problem arguing. My wife knows that. I'll argue about anything, basically. So we had never really had big blow up fights because we communicate a lot. So I think if you pick the right person, logic more than emotion, and then you communicate a lot, any relationship really can work. You know, I don't want it to sound like there is no emotion involved with my wife. We have 2 kids, so like there's definitely emotion involved, but there's definitely a lot of logic in me and her being together, not just the honeymoon stage wrapped up in a marriage. Like that was not how we got together. That's I think really important. There's that famous divorce attorney. You guys have definitely seen it. The clips going all over the internet. He's like going around all the podcasts. He's like a guy with gray hair, and he talks about the bigger the wedding, the more likely the divorce. Well, my wife and I got married at a yoga studio that we both got our yoga teacher certification. It's this like cabin in the woods, and there was 4 people there: me, her, my brother, her brother, and the monk that married us. So you see what I'm saying? So me and her, I think, are on the right path here. So I married a good one. She also doesn't like jewelry that much or designer things that much. She's not materialistic and I'm not. So like we vibe on the same page like that. I think that's a killer, dude. Like if you don't vibe on like how you see material things, when one party in the relationship starts making bread, there could be beef then that you never saw before. So I made sure that we were on the same page of that before we started making money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. James, you didn't tell me Austin was such a wholesome guy. You got your yoga certification.
I did. My wife did it first, and then I did.
I only work with wholesome guys, bro.
Dude, it was like, it was a point in my life, like in Florida, like the health and wellness community is just so crazy. I'm doing yoga all the time, hot yoga.
Where are you based?
Huh?
Where'd you say you're based?
Now I'm in Pennsylvania, but I was in Tampa.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So I was in St. Pete. So hot yoga everywhere, Bikram yoga everywhere. Like we were in it, bro. She loved the certification because it was really not just the asana. It was not just the poses. It was way more of like the story and the spiritual side of it. So then after she loved it, I was like, fuck it, I'll do it. So then I literally did it the session after her. So we both got it done. And then right when I was done, they ended up letting us use the studio for free to do the wedding there. So it worked out really good.
Wow. Yep. I got a question. Moving yoga back into trading, funny enough, is I recently gone down the spiritual yoga, Buddhism, sort of these peaceful routes, right? In the past year. And I've noticed that it's very much bringing me more in tune with being conscious of the decisions I'm making behind the charts, rather than just following kind of blindly, but understanding why I'm reacting in certain ways. Can you elaborate on any of your own experiences with something of a similar sort of atmosphere? And would you agree?
I'd agree statistically, because we used to do a personality test for people in the Black Shirt Club, which is the mentorship group. James and I would make them take this like 5 trait characteristic course. And I told them the only reason I was doing it was I was trying to study of the people that come through and become profitable and do well. What are their common characteristics? And the one thing that stood out was all of the profitable people that either were profitable when they joined us and were trying to become more profitable, or just turned to become what I would consider a successful trader, taking multiple payouts, confident. They scored high in conscientiousness. So what you're talking about is just self-awareness, which leads to more care, more focus. So I think that's what it is. I think we think the answer's on the charts. The answer's not usually on the charts. The answer's in your mind, especially when you trade simple strategy like VWAP. You are the determining factor of the edge, how amplified it is. So if you can't handle big money, if you can't handle, you'll never, you know what I'm saying? So it's all you. So I think our self-awareness becomes our superpower. And that's probably what you're talking about, is like just the increased focus, the increased care with every action that you take comes from a heightened sense of self-awareness. I don't know if like yoga brings that for everyone. I used to meditate every day for 10 minutes. Like I was on it. Sam Harris's app, bro, waking up, I was on that thing. I had hundreds of hours. And then when my dad passed away a couple summers ago, that threw me off that. And I never have been able to pick it back up, but I'm still making money trading, bro, more money now. So it's like, I don't know if meditating is the answer to profits. You know, for me, it wasn't. I don't know if yoga, but I think all of the idea is like pursuing self-awareness, heightened self-awareness is good. Whether you're reading psychology books or you're doing yoga or you're just working out, for some people, like just pursuing self-excellence and more self-awareness makes you become a better trader, I think, as a byproduct.
Now, how would somebody go about pursuing consciousness? Like, I know I've heard a lot of people, they say, hey, I don't want to meditate, my mind's too busy, right? It'd be too anxious, too difficult. What are some other activities maybe that you might suggest?
Just working out. I think a lot of people could just be better at walking. And I
Yeah.
think you should raw dog the walk. No phone, no music, no nothing. Just raw dog it, bro. Just disconnect from the dopamine.
Because then that way at least you get to like be a little bit mobile, right?
And
You
dude,
see a
people
couple
can't even
things
do that, bro. People can't even put the phone down for that. And that's crazy. But I think you look at like longevity is important, right? You make if anyone listening has even made a little bit of money in their life, which I'm sure some of them have, like it's not going to dictate your happiness overall. You need to be healthy. That will dictate your happiness. So I think if you think of it from a longevity perspective, all of us sit at the desk too much, even the standers.
Yeah.
We need to be walking 7,000 steps a day. It's just what the science is saying. You don't have to get to 10. You got to get to 7 now, they say. I think that is a great way to just commit to something daily that can be a self-awareness
They lowered
practice.
the bar because nobody wanted to make the 10.
maybe that's what it is. Ben Greenfield, he was one of the biohackers I follow. He was talking about it. So whatever the number is, I just think that could be a way for some people that are like, I don't want to meditate, but you want to do something for yourself. Just disconnect from the internet world. That's a really good practice of getting back to mindfulness, because we are addicted to dopamine and addicted to our phones. So you try to raw dog as much as you can. You know what I'm saying?
That's actually really good advice. Just
especially when your kids are around, right, Bruce? The kid wants to play with you, get off the phone, bro.
That's 100%. That's actually
it's the worst.
That's actually one of my big work cons this month, is being off my phone while I'm chilling around the kids, around my son and that. But I agree with that. Austin, so Austin I joined Austin when there was like 80 guys in the group, and we used to have this Telegram channel, right? Obviously now we got a Discord, but it used to be like Austin used to be up at 3 a.m. Eastern time to trade the London Open. I think something also that I think a lot of traders don't realize is that you don't need to spend 5 hours a day trading. I was in and out of my trade within 15 minutes today. Literally, open happened, I took the longs and in and out. And I'm not going to look at the charts the rest of the day. I'll have the podcast and do other things off the charts. But I think a lot of traders, they also get trapped. And Austin also always told me about this. Like, you don't want to be trading full time as your only source of income. I did that for over a year and a half. And it was, there was some great times. There's also some tough times when you're in drawdown and you don't have any other sources of making money. I think too many guys get into this.
Is it really even that fun to be trading that much?
No,
bro. I mean? There's moments where you're locked in, you're having a good month, you're fucking crushing it, like you want to stay dialed. But then like you're lying if you've been in the game and you don't think sometimes like, I wish I could not trade today and still make money. You know what I'm saying? So like it's nice to see that and feel that, because I think that it's don't trade to live to trade, right? So, or whatever the saying is, something about that. But it's like, just don't be too attached to it, because you do have other shit. I remember, Bruce, we did the interview with Crudelli. You were on the podcast with me the last time we talked to him. And he said the only regret he had, this is Anthony Crudelli, Hunter. He said he wishes he would have taken his trading profits and invested in businesses more and bought more stock, so he wouldn't have to work as much and trade still as an older guy. And he's not old. I don't think he's even in his 60s, but I think he's
like
in his
40s, mid-40s.
He's in his late 40s or 50s. And it's like, okay, so then my goal now is I'm 31, over the next 10 or 15 years, just accumulate as much assets as possible. So when I'm his age, I don't have that feeling of, man, I still got to fucking wake up and trade to make $1,500 today. You know what I'm saying? So I think that was a huge takeaway of like, not become like, you can be a great trader, but not be obsessed. You don't have to be trading all day, every day. You really don't.
Yeah.
Even Scott said that to me, bro, back in the day. Scott Redler, he said that. He was like, I always go to the gym and give back my profits after the gym. So it's like everyone kind of knows that trading too much means you can open yourself up to risk. But it's only the new trader that doesn't see that. The new trader thinks work more, trade more, make more.
Yeah.
And that's just not the way it works, unfortunately.
I found a lot more success only looking at the chart once per day and swing trading at this point, right? Especially,
I definitely see that.
I don't understand how you wake up at 3 a.m. because I can't wake up at 6 a.m. for some reason in order to trade, right?
Dude, I'm not waking up at 3 a.m. anymore. That was young Austin. James remembers me from a long time ago. That was 5, 7, 8 years ago. Now, my usual day looks like I wake up between 5 and 6, no alarm, and I start working before the kid wakes up. Once the kid wakes up, hang out with them for a little bit, and then I start up here till about this time. And then when I'm done here, gym, and then usually podcasts and stuff in the afternoon if I have any. But I guess I'm lazy. I try to not have work in the afternoon if I don't have to. We have our group coaching 3 times a week. Like, that's enough for me. Like, just don't want to be doing too much, because I try to enjoy life. It's hard, dude. It's so hard to enjoy life nowadays. So many things telling you to keep working, keep making money. It's like, okay, you got more money in the bank. What is that really going to do though if you aren't healthy and you get sick and something happens? That's always where my brain goes. You know what I'm saying? To like that point in your life where you're like, fuck, I should have done more. So I'm trying to do as much as I can now, you know?
Sure. Yeah. Fair play.
Yeah. I heard you got pet peacocks, bro. Can we talk about that?
Yeah, there was so I do out on the patio. I'm not sure if there's one out here right now, but they're sitting around the corner. But yeah, we got a new male. You know, males are actually super rare. About 1 in 10 are males, and only about 1 in 10 survive to adulthood because the mothers are terrible mothers. The babies just follow the mother around, right? And if a predator comes, the baby dies because the mother flies away.
Really?
They have no protection, right? So once they learn how to fly, they're safe, right?
Makes sense.
And it was funny. One time, they were stuck on the patio, and the mom flew off the patio, and it's a huge fall to the ground there. So I went over, and I'm like trying to grab the baby so I can bring it around or whatever, and it's freaking out, and it can't fly yet. So eventually, ended up being fine. But eventually, the baby's like flapping and the mom's honking and it thinks I'm going to eat it or whatever. And it like squeezes through a crack and just falls to the ground and thuds. Right. It's like, no wonder they die all the time. Right.
Right. Because they're not the smartest.
Slowly over to this
That's
peacock.
funny.
And
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Interesting. But, so wait, you said you're not a city boy. You're a country boy. No, I was going to say, you said you're not a city boy, you're a country boy. So is that where you spend most of your time, or do you come out of in the wintertime? Are you leaving Canada?
So we spent some time in Europe and Cyprus last year.
How was that?
But, it was great for Maven travel. We did some stuff. We're setting up our office stuff in Cyprus. Maven's got lots of stuff around the world at this point.
Yeah.
And we were just kind of doing a tour, meeting fans and all this jazz. But, I'm myself kind of done with travel, right?
Yeah.
I have the option. I could go back to Cyprus. John and Emma are going over there for a few months. I don't want to, it's under that same sort of environment that, trading, I think, is a peaceful sort of thing. Right. And, when we come into trading, we're all this crazy dopamine addicts, right? We want the fast money. We want the attention. We want the travel. Right. And once you get that, it's not, it sounds kind of silly, but it's like, I'm done with it. Right. We got it for a while, but to be a good trader, you have to be a peaceful person. Right. And I would prefer to just sit in peace, trade properly, do the yoga, meditation, things like this, rather than, traveling ruins your trading. Traveling ruins
routine. It kills the routine, kills the habits. Yeah, it does.
It makes you look cool to girls, but who cares,
Yeah. And dude, especially right now, just with everything going on, I feel like it's nice to be home in America. The airport lines are crazy. I was just in Fort Lauderdale Airport on Friday last week. It's crazy. Tim Dillon had a skit, bro. He was like, being an American and going anywhere, I guess it applies for you Canadians too. He's like, no one really wants to see you right now. Like, you guys starting a lot of problems. No one wants to He's like, what do you want to do? He's like, you want to be an American in a restaurant? Can you pass the ketchup? It was so
Yeah, that's good. That's good, man. Cool. So I got another question from Cat Soft here. Actually, Cat's always got some banging questions here.
Tell me.
So with your community, you've got a huge community. What is the most common mistakes you see these new traders make?
James, what do you think I'm going to say?
Most common mistakes?
The most common one.
Over trading definitely is probably
it has to be over trading or oversizing. They're just trading too big or they're trading too much. That's always what you start with, I feel like.
Yeah.
So how would you recommend? Let's give a little synopsis of what you would teach, right?
Sure.
If somebody's coming into the community and like, hey, I know ICT, I know FEGs, I've heard of liquidity zones, and it's just not working for me. Where do I start?
Okay. Simple. Ready?
Yeah.
I would say first thing is set a budget for what you're going to spend on prop accounts every month. So we know how much we're working with. How many tries are you going to give yourself every month? Then every trade you take, you need to mark it up, especially the losses. And then you need to be asking somebody for feedback on those. If over trading and oversizing are two of the things that you're struggling with, limit the amount of trades you take per day and try your best to stick to that. Because practicing discipline has to be seen as like a verb with this. And like, you have to be trying to be disciplined every minute of every day that you're at the desk because you're new. So you're trying to build that muscle. So the way that we teach people is you pick a strategy, ICT, VWAP, whatever. We want you documenting all the trades and asking for feedback. That's like the feedback loop you want to picture in your mind. I take a trade, I put my thoughts on the chart, I ask someone who's been doing it longer than me to give me feedback on this. What would they do differently? You do that every day for a month, you will be dramatically surprised at how much progress you can make and how much you can start to win trades and realize gains versus taking trades, having wins turn against you, or just taking trades that are instantly in drawdown. So that's the area that we would pinpoint it. We would pinpoint it to like pattern recognition. Are the trades that you're taking repeatable in some sense? Like, are you putting a stop at a reasonable spot? Are you choking the trade too tight? We need to see kind of like all of that. And then if you're still over trading and oversizing, it's probably a money issue. That's where I would usually go with it. Is like that person probably needs the money that they think they're going to make from trading to pay bills or to eat or whatever. And that's not a good place to trade from. I don't know anyone making money like that. I don't know anyone that ever has. I didn't make money when I was that, in that financial position. So like, you got to get your money right. And for some people that literally means taking a break from trading, going to work for Uber Eats for a couple of months, stack some bread, and then refocus in 6 months. That you just got to be honest with yourself with where you're at.
Yeah.
Because I think you can't fix the over trading and oversizing, like trying to make payouts quickly. You can't fix that if they're just doing that because they think they need money this week. Like there's nothing else. You shouldn't be trading if you need money like that. You know what I'm saying?
It's one of the most difficult things new traders have to overcome is, it's not, you're not going to make a ton of money right off the bat. And it's the biggest, I think the biggest misconception in the industry is the number of, people that message me that are just like friends of friends or something like that. They're like, hey, I'd like to make some side income. I've got a few extra bills, right? Can you show me trading? Right. I'm like, I can tell you to go buy the NASDAQ.
I mean, like, honestly, the best people for trading are people who are passionate about it, not people that need to make money. Those people are people that need to make money. You're better off literally just trying to find a new job, trying to find a promotion, trying to find a side hustle, something that requires less runway. No matter what, trading has a runway. Even now with all the educators, all the prop firms, all the fucking resources, all the YouTube streams, there's still runway. I got guys like first 5 months they're taking payouts. That's amazing. I can't fucking believe first 3 to 5 months crazy. I got people never trading before and taking. That's great, but that's still runway. So it's like there's other things you could do and make money more short term. Trading shouldn't be a money generator. It's a money amplifier. Somebody said that on my podcast recently. I think that's the best quote. It's not really great for generation. Once you know how to make money, then it can be used to amplify for sure.
Yeah. And that's why that's why kind of what you do is you offer these education sort of things. It's a really great platform. And it's honestly kind of what I do too.
It's the same.
I have a trading business, right? I get paid from the trading business. My whole world is trading, right? I get to jump on these podcasts, talk about the market, right? And then from there, I get paid from the business, right? And then from there, I can trade, but it doesn't really matter. I'm doing it more for fun. Eventually, that money is going to be a big amount of money, right? And then I've acquired the dream of trading. Now, I guess a lot of people at home, they might not have like a large business, but they could kind of, they could offer some sort of education, or they could build some sort of service or something.
I encourage everybody to do that. Like, there's just so many other ways to make money. You missed it, Bruce. This was topic of the Black Shirt Club yesterday. One of our guys is a new full-time trader. He's like, what do I do with my free time? He's like, I have so much free time. I'm over trading again. I'm doing the same shit I used to do years ago. So I'm like, bro, start sharing your journey. And I said, what do you think happened to me? Go back on my YouTube channel. Thousands of videos, bro. Since 2019, since I left T3 and started doing my own thing. I did trade recap after trade recap. And I'm like, do you think that made me better or worse? I'm like, that's all reps, bro. That's all me going over my trades, repeating out loud my mistakes. You don't think that helps me get better? So I'm like, do it just for the fact of you getting better. It will occupy your time, but it will make you better. If you end up growing a little brand and then you end up knowing me and I help you get a sponsorship deal or whatever, I introduce you to some company, now you got some extra money coming in. Shame. You know what I'm saying? So like, there's such little barrier to entry when it comes to becoming a content creator in the trading space. There's all these Furu Lambo boys, bro. What do you mean you can't do it? I got a guy in the Black Shirt Club today that's doing it for archery. He loves archery and bow hunting and futures trading. And he knows there's a lot of other hunters, no pun intended, who are also traders. And he's going to just interview them and talk hunting and trading and shit. I'm like, dude, fucking great idea, bro. Like,
interesting. It's funny because my best buddy is both a trader and a hunter too. Like that's his two passions.
I said that's a great niche, bro. I said I think they're there 100%.
Yeah.
So it's like
you're waiting.
That. Okay, you don't want to open an Etsy store and sell your knitting stuff. Fine, don't do that. Just become a trading person. Start a YouTube channel. I said pick a pillar: podcast, YouTube, or written blog. That's what Gary Vee would tell you to do. Pick a pillar and work it. I do a couple of them, but you don't have to. You can do just blog if you want to write. Do video if you want to do YouTube, or just talk and do podcast. I'm like, just starting to do that opens up a huge door for income.
If you're talking Gary Vee too, like you can do his garage sale thing, man. Like,
dude, 100%.
Like that's trading.
Yeah,
that's
100%,
trading,
bro.
Just with no liquidity.
That's what I would do, bro. That's the hustler in me. There's a story I always used to tell, bro. When I was 13, this is a real story. I took my mom's jewelry while she was in the shower. She had huge, and I went down the street to a garage sale and asked if I could set up there and sell. Who the fuck taught me how to do that, bro? Nobody. But that's who I am. Like I got that entrepreneurial gene. So I think if you got that, you'll be able to find another hustle while you're learning how to trade. You know what I'm saying? Dude, I have guys that I had a guy, not in the group anymore, profitable trader, still driving for Uber every weekend to just keep cash coming in. He can't trade on the weekends. He's already good at trading. He wants a break from trading, but he's got no girlfriend, got no kid. Make money. Uber Eats, no barrier to entry, easy overhead. Let's go.
Yeah. And then you have the backup, right?
Always.
Actually, funny enough, I remember when I quit my job, back in what was it, 2019. Yeah. And I was like, I'm going to do YouTube and I'm going to do trading. I made some money from crypto, and I was like, I'll do YouTube stuff and I'll make some videos and there'll be a little bit of income there. And I was like, if I don't make enough, I signed up for Uber just so I could do that exactly on the weekends. Okay. The crazy thing, dude, is you make so much money from YouTube, right? That like I never once had to go and I never once had to deliver a delivery.
And it's not, dude. You know what? It's not like they say don't have a plan B. It's not. It's just being realistic so you can pay your bills, brother. You know, in the moment that you are. A lot of this shit, bro, comes back to social media makes us all compare to each other and want more than we need. You got to just check yourself. Where are you? Doesn't matter how old you are. Doesn't matter how much success you've had in life. Where are you right now in your trading journey? And be realistic for the timeline and the runway that you have ahead of yourself. Don't put yourself in a position of financial hardship. No one does well in trading for the most part. It's safe to say no one does well in trading from financial hardship. So just keep that in mind. Like that, if there was any guarantee in trading, you'd probably say it's that. No one's going to make a lot of money when they got no money. That's probably the only guarantee in finance. So just something to keep in mind.
Totally. James, last few minutes here. Should we do Would You Rather?
Yeah, let's do Would You Rather. Let's do that.
Would You Rather sounds like fun, hey? Okay, Austin. Started off with just personal or prop firm account. You can only trade one forever.
Personal.
Yeah. Why's that?
Well, if it's forever, I can't rely on prop firms forever. I don't know where prop firms will be. You know, I don't know what rules they'll put under it. So if you're going to say forever, I'm going to say personal.
Forever. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, forever.
Okay, going back to what we were just talking about. Would you rather go starting brand new? You know, you got $10,000. That's it, right? No more than that. Okay. Would you rather go full on with trading and risk it all, or would you rather start a side hustle and grow it first to 100,000 before going into trading?
I think I'm going to say go into trading because that's what I did. I took more than that and lost it, but it does teach you a lot. And I feel like at some point you're going to spend money on tuition here. So I think getting started sooner, time is the real thing to spend in this equation here. So I'm going to say put the money into trading.
So the ironic thing is you just advised people to not do that, but it is also what you did and what you would do again.
Exactly. I think that's pretty accurate.
What I'll do.
Yep. I think that's very accurate.
Oh man, what's so funny is we say these things. We're like, okay, everybody should listen to my advice, and we don't.
But I'm going to go do the opposite now.
And every single person watching, nobody's going to listen to you.
Yeah, well, we're all the same. You know what I'm saying? We only tried to become traders because we're all the same. Of like, yeah. You're telling me everybody loses money, but I'm here, bro. I'm still here.
Yeah, I'll be the different one.
Right.
I'll be the different
So
one.
I know,
Right
listen, I know who I'm talking to. I know my audience. They're all me. We're all each other.
we're all the same. Yeah, you have to be this all or nothing personality to start.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah. No, there's no risk adverse person that's coming into trading being like, yeah, I want $1 million like next month.
Yeah.
Right. No, they're at home having cookies and tea with grandma.
Right.
You know.
Right.
James, you got a would you rather?
Yeah, I got one. I know the answer, but I want people to hear this too. Austin, you traded currencies for the most part, and then now indexes. Would you rather trade currencies or indexes for the rest of the time? But why?
Indexes for sure. But I mean, specifically, I think futures is just a better product, more liquid, more accurately priced, centralized. It's a better, more professional product, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so you specifically trade futures, but what about CFDs of an indice on?
That's how I would do it. If I was trading CFDs,
I mean, it's the same thing, really.
Yeah. So I would trade, like, if you took all the futures companies away, we still could just trade those. It's the same thing. Yeah.
A lot of people actually get confused by this, right?
No,
they're like,
I don't know why.
Maven doesn't have futures. Like, I mean, we have a decentralized futures, just not CME data.
Exactly. Like it's just under education. That's all it is. Like when now that I understand trading so much more than I did when I first got into this, like you see, there's going to be different ways to take advantage of the same move in the same market across different tools. You can buy 0 DTE options. You can, there's so many ways to take advantage if you think SPY is going up or down. So doesn't matter. I'm still trading that SPY.
I got a good question. Once again, Cat's off. You're just absolutely killing it with some good questions. You keep popping up here. So would you rather again? Would you rather a $1 million account, but you can only risk 1% per trade, or a $10,000 account, but you have to risk 10% per trade, right?
Easy.
But the thing is, you have to stay that way forever.
That's fine.
Is it easy?
Yeah, million, 100%. Yeah.
Come
on, I'm not a rookie here. I'm not a rookie. I'm not taking that 10K account.
Yeah.
But it's tempting. It's tempting because you'll get the people that'll be like, yeah, but bigger risks, bigger return. Yeah, but you don't understand the law of large numbers. Law of large numbers is we're going to run into some losses here, brother. So we need to keep risk small and play the long game, not just be like, yo, give me the 10 grand. I'll flip it this month. I'll take the million for a year over the 10 grand for half a year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah.
But thanks for having me on, boys. This is cool.
Yeah.
Right on. Plug what you need to plug, and
just come hang out with us. Find me on Instagram, ASFX, Austin Silver FX. James is on with me. We stream every week, every day. Got our Discord. Everything with us is just on the stream. I would say just come hang out. We do a free month, no charge. Come see if you like it. No pressure. So that's where I'm at.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Austin.
It's good to see you, brother. Hunter, I'm glad we got to finally meet, bro. Finally.
Yeah, totally. Guys, we do this every single week. You can check out the winner. I think it's going to be Catsoft here today in the Discord. I'll plug Austin's Instagram in the Discord as well.
Thanks,
we'll see you next week. Thanks so much, Austin. Ciao, ciao.
See you guys.